What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Cybermen. I'm going crazy in lockdown. Haven't had a haircut in a million years. I kind of did a little bit of a shave, but it's still getting pretty crazy. But anyway, I'm bringing you a deck profile. This is Simon Keith's Hachiak Sin Shenron deck. It's Hachiak, but it uses the Sin Shenron engine from the new set. Really cool. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll get on with Simon now.
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty, guys, we've got Simon here with his Hachiak Sin Shenron deck, using the new Shadow Dragons from the new set 14 Cross Spirits. So, Simon, take us through the deck and your choices and why you've been rocking it.
Alright, so Hachiak's got the ability where he can only swing with battle cards once unless they're greater than or equal to 8. So he's got a good slowdown effect that lets you get to turn 4. And the aim to get to turn 4 versus a lot of decks is to play 4 of the new Black Sin Shenron card.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool. He's got heaps of keywords: deflect, barrier, double strike, and his blocker. Now, the main reason why we play this one is because when we play him, we can swing twice with him because he has an activate battle or an activate main once per turn. Spirit boost. We can knock our marker off a unison and restand him, and the cool effect with that is when he restands, the opponent has to mill a card.
Nice.
And then on the opponent's turn, we can block
and restand again.
Battle, restand, mill another one. So essentially, we're getting 2 mills every cycle between my turn and my opponent's turn.
Yep.
And pretty tough for some decks to remove this card, but we've got options if they can remove it on managing it. But yeah, it's really hard for a lot of decks to get rid of this, and we're milling 2 off each turn.
Yeah, nice.
And so when we get multiple of these down, even if we don't want to swing to give the opponent options to bring in cards, the activate main lets you mill 2 by activating Spirit Boost on your turn, without having to swing. You don't need him in rest mode to actually do the effect because you resolve as much of it as possible.
Nice.
Pretty cool. So you just sit there, mill 2, mill 2, mill 2, and maybe get 3 out. Who knows? You do see a lot of the cards in the deck, and so you do get the opportunity to play multiple of these if they're having difficulty removing them.
Nice.
Now, the unison of choice to go along with this one, particularly since we want to stay defensive and our main win con really is for a lot of decks milling them out, we play 4 of the new Shenron unison.
Yep.
That's the one from the pre-release. And it's can't attack. It's only 4k, but it pluses up by 2 markers each turn. And so that's great because most of the black unisons that plus up by 2 require you to neg from hand in order to do it, whereas this one doesn't. And this one also lets us see more cards because the +2 lets you either choose to put a card in the drop or a card underneath and draw 1 card.
Nice.
The downside is you've got to pick that card to get rid of before you draw. But because we're going long game and going for a bit of mill, we want to keep as many cards in the deck. So having the option to put something underneath and reusing it's really good. But sometimes we want to put stuff in the drop as well, so we can use the new Gogeta as well, which we'll get to a little bit later. Now, we're not using the -3 because we're pretty much just staying around the same number of markers because we're going to be using the Spirit Boost effect on my turn as well as their turn.
Yep.
And so it's pretty rad, it goes pretty good.
And he gains blocker when you use Spirit Boost, I think.
Yeah, that's the other cool effect is whenever we use Spirit Boost, this guy gains blocker until the end of the opponent's turn. So if they happen to remove this or get through it, which is pretty unlikely, we can then block the next attack with this one as well.
Nice.
To keep.
Very good.
Because we're going for the mill, we're also playing this negate here. 4 of it, the new Oceanus one. So it's kind of like the Topo where you discard a card and then instead of them discarding 1 from their hand, they've got to mill 4 from the top of their deck.
Yep.
Now, this card is really good late game. Once you've got them down and in cards in their deck, this becomes really clutch and real turn enders. It can be good early game, but a lot of stuff removes 5k. So she's also a blocker, but because they can remove 5ks pretty early, it's not that great early on.
Yeah,
but
much better once they've used their deck.
Yeah, but in the late game when they're down to like 13 cards or 14 cards in deck, this has a huge impact and people really don't want to swing through it at all, which is great.
Awesome. What's next?
So the next package is defensive as well as aggressive. We play 4 of the Son Goku making an entrance.
That's the counter.
That's the counter attack, and he comes into play. Not much benefit from that because he's a 0 cost combo, so you don't kind of +1 from playing it and then getting to combo it again. But the reason we're playing this guy is for a couple of reasons. The first of those is he's our target to grab back with our power burst.
Nice, yeah.
And so that lets us recycle negates from our warp as well as our drop. We also play our 4 Vegeta super combos, Vegeta Zeno.
Yeah.
And the reason we're playing this guy is because they're fuel for the new boy here, our 8-drop Gogeta, which has heaps of effects. He's blocker, he's triple attacked, he can't be KO'd when he's in rest mode, 35k, and when he swings once per turn, he gets to warp 2 cards from their hand, and your opponent chooses 2
battle cards.
Battle cards ignoring barrier and sends them to their warp as well. And at the end of this turn, this guy switches back to active mode, and you can use him for a blocker. So on turn 4, we essentially want to be playing the Sin Shenron or this guy.
Yep.
Usually the Sin Shenron's the go, and then on turn 5, this guy comes down, or we do another Sin depending on the matchup.
Nice. Yeah,
Now,
I really like that card.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And this guy's 8 cost or more, so we get to swing multiple times with him a turn, which is great.
Yep.
And as well as our little guys. Now, because this guy sends these cards to the warp, if we want to reuse them, we're playing 3 of the, I think it's an ISR, Infinite Saiyan Rare, right?
Yep.
And he lets us evolve over this guy for 1 and put some of our fuel back into our drop area so we can go into another Gogeta on the next turn. Now, the other cool thing about this is a big issue for Hachiyak is unisons, because they don't get hit by the
Leader skill. Yep.
The leader skill, and so having a 25k double striker coming in to remove Jira in unison or something on turn 3 is really good as well.
Yeah, nice.
To help get rid of unisons as well, early game, and to put some pressure on turn 2 and turn 3, we're also playing 3 of the Demigra Overrun cards.
Yep.
He's great because he deals with battle cards on board, warps cards from hand, and draws cards, 30k swinging in. So he helps with our unison clearing early because our leader can't swing on turns 1, 2, and 3, or turns 1 and 2 anyway. So we need to actually have something that can deal with the unisons a little bit. Now, with that card there, I'm still a bit iffy about this one, whether it's ideal for the deck. We can fix up our drop by playing this guy and getting cards back to do overwhelm again, or to undo the overwhelm essentially, because he lets us put 4 cards from the warp back into the drop, I believe.
Yep, every turn, I think.
Is it 4? Yeah, 4 every turn. And so this guy's there mainly to help us with unisons. I don't really play that one very much, to be honest with you. It's just there as a if I need it type situation.
Sure.
For removal, we play our Lord Slug Ghost Warrior card. Now he lets us choose up to 3 cards between 3 and 7 and put them on the bottom of our deck in any order. He comes out for free, and then we can ship him off to the drop area and warp a battle card.
Nice.
Now, with a lot of the new big 8 costs and stuff that are in the game, we pair it with the Bura counterplay. So this one comes down, stalls them for a turn, prevents the big guy from swinging, and then we warp it next turn with the slug.
Yeah, nice.
The slug also helps us from milling ourselves out with our draws, and make sure we've got more cards in deck than our opponent, essentially.
Nice. Is that it for the deck?
I've still got a few more. I got up to 50.
So. It didn't feel like that was all of it.
So we play 4 of the Kai Negate. It's great. It warps a battle card. So if they swing with their leader first after they've played their battle card or their unison, we can negate that attack. And then if they paid high energy for their battle card, it kind of wasted that turn for them, which is pretty good. It also works like the Jabura and buys us a turn, and so then we can warp it with the Ghost Warrior the following turn. It's a really nice card as well. We're also playing, there was a random 2 slot, so we popped this guy in for if our 4-drop gets removed after we play it, so we've got a little bit of backup defense paired with Power Burst just in case. Yep. He comes in from free when a Black Battle card's removed from the heal by a spell, and he's got blocker and 15k, so we've got him in there as just an option. He normally gets sided out with our side deck.
Nice.
And the last 3 cards that we run in our main deck are 2 of the Scientist Fu and the Kai SCR. The Fu, we get into high number of energy, so it can be good, particularly if we've got a chance of finishing the game, and just not finishing a game, stalling a game out, because if we play this one, they've got no way of really removing our blockers the next time. So if we know there's potential of them removing it the following turn, we're close to milling them out, but not just quite there yet. We want to buy ourselves a turn, but not kill them. We can play Fu just to buy us that turn to turn off the skills.
Nice.
Which is cool. And the Kai was the choice here, simply to deal with those hard to get rid of unisons early game. And if we play her out, that gives us another swing early game as well.
Such a good card. So that's such a cool deck. Your camera's going really weird for...
Yeah, it has this autofocus thing. I've got to turn it off in Skype for some reason. I can't turn it off any other way. It's a really good deck. If the opponent has real issue getting rid of barrier cards, it's pretty much an auto win, to be honest. Like versus the new Gogeta stuff, I think they've got a barrier removal card, but we can play stuff that makes like Crisis Crusher or something that they're going to prioritize getting rid of from the board, and then they won't have enough of those left really, because they're sending stuff to the warp all the time for them to get rid of our barrier card. But a lot of decks do have trouble getting rid of barrier, and so that card really pluses in that matchup, and I really like the synergy between it and the new Sin Shenron Unison card. It's really nice.
Yeah, nice. All right, man. Thanks for that. I hope everybody enjoys. Just let us know in the comments if you have any questions, and we'll answer them as soon as possible.
Yeah, I hope people enjoy playing the deck and enjoy milling people out. And if not, get those Gogeta triple attacks in there and win that way.
Cheers. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting, guys. If you want to help support further, jump in the link in the description below to palmsoffgaming.com.au. Look for your grading needs, for your folders, for your binders, and put the code Cybermen in the checkout. It helps me out. It helps you out. You'll get 10% off. Really, really awesome. Thanks for watching again, guys, and enjoy.